It is 7 o'clock on Tuesday, 5 July 2016, and I'd like to call the regular Board of Trustees meeting for the Village of North Hudson to order. And I have a short invocation that I will read. Heavenly Father, we know that as a nation, we need you now more than ever. We lift your name up in praise today for the blessings you have bestowed on this country. We pray that the people across the country will turn to you, for you are the ultimate source of freedom and hope. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Head, absent. Nelson.
Here.
O'Brien Berglund.
Here.
Pike.
Here.
President Wecken.
Here.
Trustee Zeiss.
Here.
Zappa, absent.
Okay. Okay, item 2 is review of the and approved minutes from the regular board meeting of 7 June 2016.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kirk. Is there any corrections, amendments, or comments on the minutes from last month's meeting? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The minutes as written. All right, item 3, comments from the floor. This is an opportunity for residents to make the board aware of topics, issues, opportunities either on or not on today's agenda. And Donna, you're sitting closest to the podium, so if you would please step up to the podium and let us know why you're here.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, board and St. Croix County residents. My name is Donna Berger. I am running for St. Croix County District Attorney. I have been a lifelong resident of St. Croix County. I grew up in Hudson, graduated in 1992. I have been practicing criminal law for over 13 years. I do believe in the rule of law. I believe in being tough on crime when appropriate. I am hardworking. I listen well. I can communicate effectively. I get along well with others and know, especially when you're working for within a county, you need to get along with others if you want to be able to accomplish anything. And my ultimate goal is to protect the community by protecting or reserving its safety, welfare, and health as best as I can. And I also know that obviously with shrinking budgets, you need to do this as fiscally responsibly as possible. And I try to do that with my own finances, and I will try to do it with St. Croix County's finances as well. Again, I thank you for this opportunity, and I hope you all vote. Thanks.
What's the date of the election?
Primary, there will be a primary August 9th, of which I will be involved in as well with 2 others, and then that person will go on and face another opponent in the general election on November 8th. So I ask that you vote for me in both elections.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, next, sitting closer to the deal, Mr. Coulter.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm the county supervisor that represents North Hudson and part of the town of Hudson. And we just had a meeting tonight, and we spent more of your money, and we borrowed more money on your credit card. So I just want to let you know, and we're looking for more. And a couple of the hot issues right now is the nursing home has a problem because they didn't get the waiver from Obama's administration that they were hoping for putting up patients for Medicaid reimbursement. I don't know, maybe some of you heard about this. So at any rate, they have to populate part of the home with private pay patients and actually be operational in order to get certified so that they can then accept Medicaid reimbursed patients. So at any rate, it's a little hassle and it's not clear what's going to happen on that. And there are some, there happened to be a little cost overrun on the jail. Remodeling part of it, it cost twice as much as it was supposed to. So that's what we spent extra money on tonight and borrowed it. So I voted no on that. We also voted tonight to recommend to the governor and the assembly that raise all your taxes through a variety of different ideas to fix highways. Like some of the ideas that came up were metered service, raising gas taxes, putting on taxes at the pump, you know, from the refiner, a lot of things. That passed too, and I also voted no on that. So, because I said, we're taxed enough, it's time to cut out some other things and fix the roads. I'm all for that, because roads we need, but we don't need a whole lot of other things that they spend money on. So that's who I am, and feel free to call me sometime. If you'd like to, we can talk more about everything, but I won't take time tonight.
Do we get any of those tax dollars?
Town, the
For
village?
streets? Yeah.
No. I mean, it's not clear to me
Where it's designated?
what they're gonna, they don't have all that defined, and of course, the county, if they get them first, they won't give them to you,
Okay.
you know. I'd like to see that.
So it's
but
for county roads in particular?
It's for highways,
Highways.
everything, town roads, village
Okay.
roads, everything, so, okay.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
And I'd like to comment, Tom is very accessible for folks if you have more questions on this, and I thank you for you know, being a good steward of our tax dollars. That's very important. Okay, next is Frank. Up there, who you are, where you're at, and your issue.
My name is Frank Halverson. I live at 504 Summers Landing Road North, and I am an ice fisherman. I have had issues ever since I've moved here about the accessibility of the ice when it is too thin to drive your pickup. That's why I bought a four-wheeler. I cannot operate my four-wheeler. I'm not even supposed to start it in my own yard, which I think is ridiculous. I think the village should review this policy and allow us to use our four-wheelers on village streets. And I say this because there are Harley Davidsons that are legal on the street that don't have horns and turn signals. My four-wheeler doesn't have a horn or a turn signal either, but it has everything that Harley has. Because it has a license plate on it, it's legal on the street. And the fact that I gotta go fetch a trailer and take it to the gas station that's 3 blocks away just to fuel it up, or take all my ice fishing equipment, which is well more than $10,000, and leave it unattended on the ice while I go park my trailer, because there's not any trailer parking down there, I think is absolutely ridiculous, and I would like the village to visit that issue and allow four-wheelers on village streets. I have spoken with Chief Richard about this. He says it's not that big of a deal, but it does, it will, there's some hoops that have to be jumped through in order to get this. But, I mean, until the ice is thick enough to go ice fishing on the river with my pickup, it's basically infeasible for me to even, I've bought a fishing license every year since I've been old enough to be required to do that. I would like the village to visit that.
Thank you very much, and I will talk to the Public Safety Chair and see if he can get it on the agenda.
Thank you.
You'll get,
Would I be notified for the meeting?
it'll be posted as it normally would be. I mean, so we'll,
Thank you.
no problem, thank you. Okay, any other comments from the floor? Hearing none, we'll go on to item 4. Amended Class Parent B/Parent Class B liquor license for extended premises Cozy Corner annual grand opening and beanbag tournament for Saturday, 16 July. Approval requested.
Stan, can I move to approve the temporary Class B fermented malt beverages and Class B wine license for North Hudson Pepper Festival, Inc., with an effective date of August 19 through August.
This is for Cozy.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one?
Yep.
Sorry. Okay.
We get two in a row, you're just one ahead of
Yeah,
yourself.
sorry. May I correct that to say I'm moving that the Class B Class B retail license for the sale of fermented malt beverages and intoxicating liquors for Cozy Corner be temporarily amended for an event taking place on Saturday, July 16th from 8 a.m. to Sunday, July 17th, 2016 at 2:30 a.m. with the following conditions. Number one, area outside of building to be completely enclosed with fence and the extended premises accessed only from within the building. Number two, use of alcohol shall remain within building or fenced-in area per the establishment's liquor license. Number three, use of outside area only with specific permission of the village board for requested date and times. Number four, owner to provide an equal amount of adjacent substitute off-street parking while parking lot area is fenced during the time of event. Number five, the owner to be responsible for band music volume. Number six, all outside music to end no later than 10 p.m.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Is there discussion or question?
Stan, I must abstain for this vote.
Thank you, Kirk. Okay, no other questions. All in favor of the amended Class B liquor license for Cozy, for the annual grand opening and bean bake tournament, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, now, item temporary Class Parent B / Class, or Parent Class B alcohol license, North Hudson Pepper Festival, Inc., August 19th to 21st, 2016. Approval requested.
Stan, can I move to approve the temporary Class B fermented malt beverages and Class B wine license for North Hudson Pepper Festival, Inc., with an effective date of August 19 through August 21, 2016, as recommended by the village clerk.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Colleen, and so, and discussion. Any questions? Our annual festival.
I'll abstain. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Tim is abstaining. Melissa, any other questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor of the Pepper Festival licenses, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Number 6, possible appointment of new park board chair and/or meeting schedule change. Discussion and approval requested. Let's see, do we get a motion on this, or do we need a
I
motion?
don't see a motion on that.
What's the topic?
Well, the topic is, Colleen will be going,
Colleen should address it.
okay?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not able to attend the park board meetings starting in September because I have a class on Monday nights
Okay.
for the next 9 months.
Is there any chance that they would want to move the meeting to a different date? That would be an option.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would, we have to check with all with the other members of
Right.
the park board and Mark and the secretary, or the recording
Yeah.
secretary.
Yeah, well,
so-
that's one thing, because I've it was the information was out there, and since Tim's on Pepper Festival board, I can't really put him in charge of the park board. And Ted or Kirk, if they would be interested in running park board, that is an option. But I think first option, maybe adjust the night that you meet so that it fits, because you've done a great job as far as I'm concerned
Yeah,
on
we
the
can
park
try
board,
that.
and I think it'd be great if you could continue. So if we bring it up or you check it out with the next meeting, would that work for you?
Sure.
Okay, and then that gives Ted and Kirk the opportunity to think about it.
Colleen, you might want to give Stan a heads up before the next meeting, because I think the process is he appoints and the
Yeah.
board approves. so.
Right. Yeah, and so we got August meeting and stuff, so that should work out. Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you. Item 7, let's see, adoption of final special assessment report for street and utility improvements for Pine Street North and Lakeview Drive North, approval requested.
Stan, we're recommending that the village board approve this report and assessment roll Schedule C, showing the affected property owners, along with the final assessment costs are attached to this report. Everybody should have that.
Thank you, Brian. Is there any comments or questions? Kevin, we're pretty
we
much
under budget?
done with everything?
So yeah, everything's everything's been finalized out there. All the final costs have come in. So from there, then we generate the final assessment report. Just hit on some of the highlights. The overall cost obviously came in less than what the preliminary. The preliminary number was, it's roughly about $53,000 less than what we had originally what we were originally looking at. And how it's affected, to the individual property owners, roughly it's about $600-700 less per parcel. And when you use your table, your payment table that you have adopted, those folks will have roughly about 6 years to pay those assessments off if they decide to go that route. They obviously have the option of paying, everything up front, but if they do so choose, they can, over 6 years pay those dollar amounts off. That is an option that's available for them. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments for Kevin before he sits back down?
We don't anticipate any other costs, right?
At this point, yes.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, thank you,
We
Kevin.
could break and go see what the flooding situation looks like. No. No. No, Stan, okay.
No, I didn't bring the big umbrella today. I'm not going. Okay, that should be good. I think we're good. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
So basically, we just need to have this adopted, and then there'll be a final resolution for your consideration
Roll
too.
call on this.
Not on this one, not on the report.
Okay. Okay, so that's, let's see, the adoption of the official assessment report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item 8, resolution 2016-05, levying special assessments for street and utility improvements for Pine Street North, Lakeview Drive North, approval requested. We need a motion for that.
So moved.
Thank you, Colleen. Let's see, do I have to,
Is there a second?
Second.
okay, do we need to read this whole deal, or? Okay. All right, so we just discussed that the assessments, the roll is ready, and this is the resolution to say, yes, we will be levying the special assessments for the folks in those areas. And since it's a resolution, we need, if there's no other comments or questions, we'd have a roll call vote. Kirk?
Yep.
Yes.
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 Thank you all. Motion unanimous, thank you. Okay, let's see, new business from the board or staff. President's comments. I don't have a lot. I would like to thank the chief for his work over the weekend. He was very busy with the Independence Day weekend, and I don't know if folks don't realize that the celebration is supposed to be on the 4th, but we had a lot of, we've had some fireworks complaints. We've had some issues with folks shooting off fireworks. We don't, there is certain ordinances. I wish that folks would be a little more concerned with, neighbors and safety of these fireworks. It was definitely loud. And right now, with the chief waiting for another officer to hire another officer, he was short-staffed, and I just want to take this time to say thank you very much for what you and, you got accomplished over the weekend. So other than that, I got nothing else. Gloria?
Nothing that's not already on the agenda.
Okay. And Melissa, anything?
Just a reminder that the partisan primary election will be held on Tuesday, August 9th. Polls will be open from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. If you have moved to the village or within the village of North Hudson, you must re-register to vote. Information can be found on the village website.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, next is Plan Commission recommendation. I didn't, we have nobody from Plan Commission here.
I can give a brief update.
Thank you.
There was no action, but there was a proposed development for the property, I forget the cross street, it might be Summers, but the property where the grocery store was proposed to go a few years back by a Gerard Development Company, and it was for a mixed-use type of development, which would be part commercial, part residential, with some townhomes and some apartments, and then some commercial. And the Planning Commission, on a 4-2 vote, I think, generally favored the concept, but under our current ordinances, it wouldn't fit. And so they directed me to prepare a couple of potential amendments to the zoning ordinance, which would potentially then, which would allow a type of a mixed-use development on that lot, which is 2 acres, a little over 2 acres. And so I have done that and gotten that to the clerk, and that'll be on the next Planning Commission meeting. And depending upon what they do, you may or may not see that at the meeting after that.
Sound good. Thank you,
Yep.
Terry. Okay, next is Personnel and Finance Committee recommendations. Item A, claims and approval requested.
Stan, can I move to recommend the board approval of the 2016 non-recurring claims of $30,531.51?
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Is there any discussion? I like this month. It was only $30,000. Usually they're a lot bigger than that, so it was it's nice to be able to pay that bill. Okay, that's a spending issue, so Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Brian?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Okay. Next, on item B, contract with St. Croix County Sheriff's Department for an additional staffing during Pepper Festival, approval requested.
Mr. President, may I authorize Chief Riker to enter in a contract with St. Croix County Sheriff's Office for additional police protection during the 2016 Pepper Festival weekend due to NHPD staffing levels?
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Is there a discussion or questions from the chief or comments from the chief? We discussed this at finance, and due to that we had an officer leave, and we are waiting for his replacement, and the chief has, they've been going through the hiring process, but new officer will not quite be ready by Pepper Festival, and so the chief has talked to the county sheriff, and they have opportunities for some of their officers to be available during the Pepper Festival to help patrol and keep everybody safe in the village. So if there are no other comments, this is a spending issue, so we'll start with Kirk.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
I'll abstain from this.
No state?
Yep.
Abstain? Okay.
Abstain,
Yep, thank you. Okay. Purchase of new accounting software, approval requested.
Mr. President, I move to authorize the village administrator to enter into an agreement with USTI for the purchase of new accounting software and annual maintenance.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you, Colleen. Is there questions or comments from or for Gloria? I mean, this is a new program is at a considerable savings. Gloria, would you just give us a quick?
Certainly. With this new program, we should be able to purchase the program and have the training fees and the annual support for roughly the same thing, the same amount as what our annual maintenance was on the old program. And then next year, we'd save about $5,400 a year every year after that. And I've done all the research, talked to other municipalities that are using it. They have a bunch of videos online, YouTube videos, showing the ins and outs of the program. They've been in business about 35 years, so I think I've covered everything. And of course, I'd always say that if there's some reason something doesn't look good, I would pull the plug, but everything, I've done a lot of research on it, so.
At a savings of $5,400 a year after the first year, that's what we've been trying to do. I mean, we have limited revenues, and we try to use the best, do the best thing we can to use the tax dollars we get, so that then the county can take them from us. So. Well, they're asking for more, so I mean. And they've never, they're kind of insatiable there. But again, Tom, I'm glad you're on that committee. Okay, any questions? Ted, Kirk, anybody? Tim?
This is a 10-year contract, I'm sorry?
No,
Oh, it's an annual contract.
Yeah,
Okay. You
It's
budget
just-
out the 10 years on the.
yeah, just to give an idea of
Sure.
the cost savings.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good question. Okay, any other questions, comments? And then again, the suspending issue. So, Tim?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Okay, rolling right along. Public Works Committee recommendation. Chair update, Brian?
Mr. President, Public Works was unable to meet this past month, but we do have 2 spending items that we'd like to make motions on.
Okay. B?
Yep. So B, we are moving to have Zappa Brothers, Inc. replace the existing storm sewer catch basins at Michelson Street North and 10th Street North with a new 2-foot by 3-foot catch and casting at a cost not to exceed $4,164.
Thank you, Brian.
Second.
Ted or Kurt?
Ted.
Ted. Okay, thank you, Ted. Questions or comments? One comment I'll make, this catch basin is eroding from one of the last big blast rains we had a month ago or so, and so it is definitely in need of replacement, and it was severely undersized or it's an undersized catch basin, so they're going to extend it. So hopefully we will not have this issue for that section in the future. So it's a spending issue. Any other comments or questions? Okay, Kirk?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and C, Brian?
Mr. President, concerning the water main connection at 719 6th Street, we move to have Zappa Brothers make the water main connections at 719 6th Street North at a cost not to exceed $6,950, with the cost coming out of the 220 Water Maintenance Fund.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Now second.
Thank you, Ted. Any questions or comments? I will make a comment. This is necessary per the DNR. They did a review of our water, and we have to flush certain areas. And this is a dead end, I believe, Mark, if my, and we can connect it to existing 8-inch, main there that we can put it in a loop so we can flush the system. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, and it is a spending issue. Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Thank you. And Public Safety. Public Safety Chair is not here. Chief, was there any meeting or any actionable items from safety?
Yeah, we didn't meet.
Did not meet? Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Sorry about that. Okay, and public welfare, Colleen?
Public welfare did not meet.
Okay, thank you. Park Board Committee.
Park Board did meet, and we had a request from the residents at 1145 Partridge Lane to acquire adjacent land that is dedicated to the public. It's one of those where it's parkland, and they would like us to abandon it, and Park Board was kind of unsure as to how to proceed if we wanted to go down this road of getting Park Board, or getting the land that was dedicated to park back to residents. They don't seem to be here tonight. So basically, we were just kind of wanting a little bit more direction, if that's a road we want to go down.
Can I make a few comments?
Yeah, Terry,
Yeah.
for legal.
Yeah, for, this land was dedicated to the public as part of the, of a plat back in, I think, 1995, and land that's dedicated to the public is a little different than other land. The village owns it, but in a special sort of way. The village couldn't sell it, for example, which is one of the primary things that an owner thinks they can do. But, so we can't sell it, and we can't even just abandon it. In order to vacate parkland that's dedicated to the public by a plat map, we would have to actually go to court and do a court action and ask a judge to okay that. So that's the process that we would have to go through to do that. It is, I think this map may be, Melissa, is this one part of their packet or on the
It
online?
was online.
Okay. If you all know where this is, Partridge Lane dead ends up in the kind of the northeast corner of the village, and their property is right at the very dead end of that. And the land proposed to be vacated would be this little red part behind their parcel. To the north of them is a lot owned by the city of Hudson, and to the east of them is the land owned by the Rod and Gun Club. So that's the location of this. And that piece behind their house is basically just unused by the village at this time. But this is sort of part of a coordinated path system. If you look at the other map, which shows the blue lines, you can kind of see how there was at least a sense there that there would be a way for the people to access the park and to walk from one place to another and get to the different streets. So I think there was a thought behind all this, although this was back in 1995, so I don't know. But that looks like it's kind of a coordinated plan to me. So I guess the question before the board tonight is, the Trollins have made this request. That's the name of the family that lives there. They'd like it. I think they've agreed to pay the cost, although I don't think they knew it would take a court action to do that, which would raise the cost quite a bit. But in any event, you know, if the village board wanted to pursue that, that would be up to the village board. That'd be a policy decision. But as a general rule, they make it hard for a village to get rid of parkland on purpose.
So what are they looking to get, this T-shape here?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, like it appears.
It wouldn't be the whole T. I think all they're requesting is the part in their backyard, which would be just the part straight north of them.
Oh, this right here.
And they're the 2150 here?
Yes,
So they want just that one section.
just that section that's directly north of them is what they're asking us to give them. Currently totally undeveloped.
It looks like it, the way, I mean, just the drawings and stuff I'm looking at, it's like it was set up to possibly have like walking paths or whatever through there. And, you know, again, with limited resources and stuff that the village has,
Yeah.
you know, and priorities over the, you know, the years, I'm guessing that this just hasn't been done yet, and, you know, possibly in the future, but, I myself don't, you know, I mean, giving back parkland or whatever that, you know, or, you know, going through, that's a slope, and all of a sudden, then this person will want that, the next person would want.
And so then how many other
How many other properties?
How many other pieces of parkland are we gonna run up against where we did it for this resident, now we need to do it for them, and
Yeah, it's a slope
I mean,
that I'm not a big fan of, but, you know, I mean, it doesn't hurt to request or ask, but I mean, so the part, you know, I mean, right now, I don't hear anything from the board in favor of giving
can't
up
understand why.
parkland, so. That's kind of where
How
we're
much
at.
money?
That,
How much money are they gonna give us?
well,
Well,
like
they
Gary
will.
said, I don't know if we
Well,
can sell, we
it's
can't
just-
sell it.
We can't sell it to
But we
them,
can't get any money for
but
it.
we can't make a profit on it,
No.
but we
We
could
give it
break
back
even
to
on it if they're willing to pay.
Oh.
and again, Stan, if a resident requests something like this, at least have the courtesy to show up and represent yourself.
Well, they've been at
In a
park,
letter.
they were at
Yeah.
park.
The park.
They did go to the
Yeah,
park.
Did
but
go to the park
tonight's
board
the-
meeting,
But
but-
tonight's the full board.
Yeah.
No, that's, I
I mean, this has happened on more than one occasion.
did not, I'm not arguing. Okay, so, there, you know.
I guess they made a request, and it probably would be a good idea to give them a response. So maybe if someone wanted to make a motion and a second and a vote, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
So,
Procedure-wise.
Mr. President, I will make the motion to not approve this request as indicated in the current maps of park property in 145 Partridge Lane North.
Thank you, Ted. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Any further discussion? All in favor of the Ted's motion to deny the request, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Request denied. Okay. Now, the board may convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent 1 and G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the Village of North Hudson, who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation which it is or is likely to become involved in regarding ordinance violations at 712 Pine Street North, and also with respect to the case of Guy Hawkinson versus the Village of North Hudson. Do we got anything, Terry, for this, or?
Well, the village is involved in a lawsuit with the Hawkinsons, and also there has been some requests by some of the residents on Pine Street to take some further action with respect to the property at 712 Pine Street. I think it would be appropriate to discuss the strategy of those two potential lawsuits, well, the one existing lawsuit and the potential strategy on the other one. Although I am not the attorney who handled the Hawkinson one, and he could not be here tonight, although he is able to be here later this month. And I think I would request a special board meeting for you guys to meet with him and go over that. And then I think we should talk about the 712 Pine Street one a little bit, so I would recommend you go into closed session to discuss those briefly.
Okay, we have a motion to go to
Yeah,
closed
you need a
session.
motion to go into closed session and a second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Well, I will make the motion that we go into closed session to determine or discuss 712 Pine Street North. At closed session, all of the folks that are here, you are, cannot sit in on closed session, so we will, shouldn't take long, Tom. I mean, but I appreciate you being here. I hope if you learned something, that would be good. I mean, if you didn't, that would not surprise me, because, I mean,
Can I make one comment?
quick meetings,
The
yes.
board will come out of closed session and then reconvene, although it's unknown how long that would take, and you'd be welcome to wait outside if you want.
In the rain. Do a roll call. Nice meeting you.
Oh.